Good afternoon and welcome to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station. The name is Kathya Davis. Today is July the 6th. Boy, how we reached us already. People, you heard Kareem, right? Kareem sounds as if you could take my job, right? Yeah. No, Kareem, you can't get my job. Boy, it was last weekend was a very busy weekend, and we had a very busy week for Copa America and Euro 2024. I'll tell you guys about my experience at the National Junior and Senior Athletics Trials. We spoke about a little bit of what happened Thursday, Friday. So now I'm able to tell you Saturday, Sunday, as it relates to the trials. And just so many other things. 20 days before the Olympics now. So we're really in fine-tuning. Even though athletics doesn't start until, I think, August 1st, which is or Emancipation Day. So we still have a little time until we get to athletics. However, the Olympic Games begins in 20 days time. So, because it begins on July 26th. In terms of, Hurricane Beryl passed and sports stopped in Jamaica. Well, there wasn't really much sports going on in Jamaica, but there were a few things that I love to talk about in terms of the national junior senior trials that took place last week, including my perspective on what happened in the 4x4 for men and or non-official non-qualification for that particular race or that particular event coming up in the Olympics. It's been a time. We know that sport doesn't stop, so it's been a time. And even though we're all still recovering, you just want to share some sports news, something that we can discuss, something that we can talk about, and of course, sports is something that we enjoy. So stay tuned. All right, so Copa America, we're now in the quarterfinal stages now of Copa America. This was the fourth. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've kind of lost track of. The days of the week now. So today is Saturday. All right. So Argentina earlier this week they defeated Ecuador. All right, Argentina, and this is Copa America 2024. Argentina, they defeated Ecuador on penalties 4-2. And Venezuela yesterday defeated Canada. Canada defeated Venezuela on penalties 4-3. And so they are through to the semifinals. The next set of quarterfinals will come up this evening. Colombia, they will play Panama, and Uruguay, they will play Brazil, which is a big match. I know a lot of persons are the supporters of the Brazil, because Jamaicans tend to support Brazil, but then they still also tend to support some of the players on Uruguay. So that's a big game coming up 8 o'clock tonight Jamaica time. So the one semifinal has already been set. So that's 2 days from now, which is Monday. Right? Argentina, they will play Canada in the first semifinal, and then the 4 teams who will play today, they will decide the other 2 semi-finalists. All right, so that's what's going on in the Copa America. Let's talk about what's going on in the Euros. I can give you the live score now. It's now 104 minutes between England and Switzerland. And England, Switzerland, they're currently at 1-1. I do believe Switzerland did score first. So Switzerland, they scored in the 75th minute from a goal by Embolo. And England, they equalized in the 80th minute with a goal from Saka, with Declan Rice having that assist. So it's now extra time. So by the time I'll keep you posted on that match because because by the time we get off air or we go off for the show, then the game should be completed. All right, so let's talk about the other matches happening in the knockout stage of Euros. If I could just get to that. Great. So in the quarterfinals, so we're at the quarterfinal stage also in Euro 2024. Spain yesterday defeated Germany, which is my side, 2-1. And Portugal, they were defeated by France. Both sides played to a 0-0 draw through regulation time and also through extra time. France, they scored all their penalties. Portugal, they only scored 3 of their penalties, so they are out. So that means I suspect this might be the last Euro for CR7, which is Cristiano Ronaldo. So he goes out at the quarterfinal stage in that competition. And of course, later on, which is probably at the top of this hour, Netherlands, they will play Turkey in the next quarterfinal. So we'll keep it posted. The first semifinals, again, will come up on Monday. Spain will play France, and then it's between England, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Turkey. 2 out of those 4 teams will play the other semifinal. The semifinal is set to take place the finals is set to take place on the 14th of July. Right. Which is next week, Sunday, I believe. Yes. So we keep you posted as it relates to Euros 2024. For those who are interested in tennis, Wimbledon that's currently happening. And yeah, we'll next week we'll give you a better roundup for those who are supporters of Novak Djokovic. It's now round 32. And he has lost the first set in that game. So we'll keep you posted on Wimbledon. It should still be happening by the time we come on next week. But yeah, so for the football lovers, you have Copa America going on, and you also have Euro. So you will watch Euro 2024 in the morning and Copa America in the afternoon. And then, of course, when I was on my way here, I saw a post from Reggae Boy. I'm going to say Bobby Reed, yes. I do believe he is now with Leicester City, yes. So Bobby Reed has now signed with Leicester City. So we're going to see, we're looking forward to see his contribution to Leicester City. Bobby Reed, he would have been at Fulham or ended his time at Fulham. He spent 5 years at Fulham, but he is now signed at Leicester City. So we definitely look forward to the great things or his great contribution when he starts playing for Leicester City this coming season. So yeah, that's really what's going on in that side of the world. NBA draft. Said I wasn't going to talk about this, but against my will, the NBA draft happened, and I think the biggest story followed through the NBA draft must have been Bronny James son of LeBron James, who has also signed for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, let me tell you, because I currently have a love-hate relationship as a girl who grew up on watching Kobe and Shaquille O'Neal and Derek Fisher playing for Los Angeles Lakers. I am truly not a fan of LeBron James, and you would have heard me, if you listen to this show, heard me say, man, over and over again, LeBron James, I'm not a fan of him. He's just not. I mean, I understand his talents, and I know Rebirth is probably saying that girl is crazy, but yes, because I know Rebirth is a diehard LeBron fan. However, I appreciate his talent, and I can commend his talent, and I can say he's probably one of the best the NBA basketball has ever seen. But there are just some athletes that you're just not going to necessarily like them. So I'm not a fan of LeBron James, and so I have not been like a true supporter of the Los Angeles Lakers because LeBron has been there. He's now extended his deal with the Lakers for the next 2 years. And Bronny James has signed a 4-year contract with the Lakers. And I'm not sure how I truly, honestly feel. I don't know how I truly, honestly feel about that. You know, I'm still processing it. It just means that it means that there will be more times that I'm not supporting the Lakers that I will. And maybe I will return to the glory days when LeBron leaves the Lakers. I do believe that's what I've said. You've probably heard me say it here before. When LeBron leaves Lakers, then I will consider them to be my team. Right now, I guess it's Warriors, but then there are a lot of things. Klay Thompson no longer at the Warriors after 13 years at that organization, which pretty much came as a shocker to most of us. And like this time of the year, as it relates to the off season for the NBA and draft season, is where a lot of things. So I usually don't really comment on all of these NBA stuff until everything is finalized, because there's so many moving parts that's gonna take place, and so many persons. There are gonna be a lot of persons that's gonna be traded, and it's going to sometimes just get not necessarily nasty, but it will get interesting, because there'll be a lot of players trying to, who's free agent. So, free agent mean that they have not really been signed by the team that they're on. So it means that any team on the market can pick them up. So I'm looking forward to what will happen in the NBA market for the rest of the time until, of course, NBA restarts in October. So you have a lot of time before they enter into preseason camp. That a lot of teams will lose players. A lot of teams might not sign. A lot of players might not sign back with their teams. Might go to other teams. A lot of trades might take place. It's going to get interesting days ahead for the NBA. But stay with us. We are gonna go for a break, and then when we come back, I think we're gonna be talking about some track and field. So stay with us, yeah.
Something smells good.
When you're cooking or baking, begin with the best. The trusted tradition of Benjamin's vanilla flavorings and colorings. Mix it, stir it, blend it all around and create something spectacular. Whether you're making cakes, custards, puddings, punches, or savory meals, Benjamin's vanilla flavorings and colorings add that special touch to everything. And here's something else special. Benjamin's ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, anise, and mixed spice are now available in liquids.
Yes, everything tastes better with Benjamin's.
Benjamin's, a trusted name for over a century.
Every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to The Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie. There is life beyond the surface, life that is divine, life that is eternal, and you can hear the truth of God's word and go deeper in purpose. Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie, Sundays 2:30 to 3 p.m. on the Family Station, Love 101.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Family Station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we'll share with you how young people are giving of their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Flames at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the Family Station. Love 101.
Youth Connection. True Body and them we got him provide everything on vibe people we chat. True Body and them we got him alone the baby when we did that. Hey. True Body.
Realignment is on this weekend. Listen for the changes. Realignment Kingston will now be on Sunday, July 7th at Jamaica College, 5:30 p.m.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station, Love 101 FM. The name is Kathya, and we kick things, we continue to keep things in gear, yeah? So, as I said last week, last week, Saturday, or last weekend, Thursday to Sunday, we had the National Junior and Senior Track and Field Trials. Now, before I get into like who made the team, especially for Saturday and Sunday, there's something that I decided that I'm gonna dedicate some time to on the show today. And that is what happened for the men's 4x4 100 meters. Now, just a bit of backstory for those who haven't been following, or maybe you have been following, but just a bit of refresher. The World Relays was held in the Bahamas earlier this year, and our 4x4 men's team, so you had for the two 4x1 relays, the two 4x4 men and women, and the mixed relays. So those that would have been 5 relays. Out of the 5 relays, Jamaica would have only qualified for 4 of 5, which means that the 4x4 for men, that relay we did not qualify, or we did not automatically qualify for the Paris Olympics. After the World Relays in Bahamas there were a lot of talks as to what happened, what exactly happened in the Bahamas, why persons did not run, why different team members did not run. And then we heard talks about, who was not available, who was available. We heard it all, right? But, the J3As, they decided that, okay, the NACAC was going to have another meet in the Bahamas, and we were chasing a time of 2 minutes, 59:12. That's the time we were chasing, or have been chasing. Well, chased, or we were chasing that time in the Bahamas, right? So we gathered a team of athletes who would have taken part in the NCAA championships probably the weekend before that. That team, they ran 2 minutes 59:72. Was that the time? Or was it 85? But they did not make the time. So they were chasing the 2 minute 59:12 because I'm going to say Zambia, they were the team that, based on ranking, they were the team in 16th place, and we were trying to get them off the list for Jamaica to be on the list. All right, fine. We did not make that. Then there was back and forth between, Coach Stephen Francis came out and said, this is what they think. There are other journalists. Another journalist came out and said, this is what he thought that should happen. Okay, fine. National trials came about. I suspect a meeting was held with the athletes by the J3s, and the schedule was changed. So usually on a Sunday, or is it Saturday? But the day that the 400 meters was supposed to run, it was not done on that day because the schedule was changed so that the 4x4 men could run on Sunday evening. All right. So the schedule was changed for that. So we had the 4x4, the 400 men rather, that finals took place on Friday. When did I say the 4x4 was going to run? Sunday. Bear that in mind. All right. So, of course, the trials is going on, and the Sunday's crowd. I mean, I think overall the patrons really turned out for trials this year. The last time would have been 2021 because the Tokyo 2020 was really held in 2021. I didn't remember seeing so many persons at the trials, and I was there for, I've been at trials for a few Olympic trials now. So consistently, I wasn't there Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the grandstand was probably 85 to 90% full on all those days. So the crowd turned out, and usually Sunday is not necessarily a well-supported day for the trials for some reason. But this time it was because the patrons were told, come out, let's support the athletes, let's push them to the time that they need to qualify for this 4x4. Fine. Okay, fine. Everybody was there. Most persons decked out in their Jamaica colors. It was a good afternoon. It was a good Sunday afternoon. Closer to the time that the 4x4 was supposed to happen. So what is that? They split the team. So they called it Jamaica Gold, Green, and Black. And then we had a team from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that would have been 4 teams. Cool. Now, closer to when the 4x4 was about to begin, you know how it is in the social media world, the different reports started to come in, and we were told, or it was reported at the time, that none of the gentlemen who finished first, second, or third in the 400 meter from Friday night, that for whatever reason, none of them were available to help us to make the time of 2:59:12. And so even when the athletes were being announced in the stadium, their names were they were still on the call sheet. Their names are still announced, but they were not on the track. The reports have said that they were at the stadium, at the warm-up track, but they were not in the stadium. Now, I am really trying to understand, and I've heard from several sources now what took place, because between last week and probably Tuesday, coming still into Thursday, this has still been a story, because there are different agents of the athletes coming out to say they were not the ones that decided that they weren't going to run. The coaches decided that the athletes weren't going to run. My problem is, and mind you, 3 of those guys ran under 45 seconds. So in my estimation, in my rough math, because they ran 2:59.85 on Sunday, so in my rough estimation, we probably only needed 2 of them to run on Sunday, and we would have made the time. And that's like my rough math. We had 800 meters men giving us 44 low high splits, 800 meters, right? Persons that run 800 meters, they were giving us good splits. So I can only assume that if we had even 2 of the sub 45 men on the team, they would have at least given us a sub 44 split, which means that we would have possibly made the time. My problem is meetings would have been held for them to agree that this was why the schedule was going to change. It is not beyond me that the schedule has changed. So you know that this is a responsibility. You know that the country is chasing this. And for all the mistakes that was made between World Relays and now, this is now our last opportunity on the last day that the team could qualify for the 4x4 Olympics men. The very last day. This is now June 30. And somehow between athletes, coaches, somebody, agent, somebody, they decided that, hey, I am not going to send my athletes out there to run, because guess what? They've already qualified for the Olympics, so I don't need to send them out there to run. So not only did you build up the spectators' anticipation to come out there and scream out and cheer on the team to try to make the time, so you wasted J3's time. Because the schedule could have just remained the same. If it is that they weren't going to even try to help us to go after the 4x4 time, I don't see why the schedule needed to change in the first place, because you would have run from Friday night. This is now Sunday evening. That's over 24 hours. Just over 48 hours of rest. 24 hours. 48 hours, yeah. I just can't understand, and I'm still trying to understand. And even today, Saturday, it is 1:30 p.m. I'm still trying to understand. I don't understand, because Sunday, I think I was just so upset because I couldn't understand. Nothing that anybody was saying to me made sense. I heard different talks and different persons were saying, and obviously the patrons, everybody was like, oh, okay, so this is not happening. This is okay. And we all kind of felt a bit shafted, because here we are, yes, coming to the trials, but I'm sure some persons would have made the extra effort to come out so that they can cheer on the team, so we could make the time. And I'm just saying, you just don't turn up. There's no explanation, and we're just left in more dismay more than anything else. Yeah. We're gonna go for a break. We're gonna pay some bills. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk.
Something smells good.
When you're cooking or baking, begin with the best. The trusted tradition of Benjamin's vanilla flavorings and colorings. Mix it, stir it, blend it all around and create something spectacular. Whether you're making cakes, custards, puddings, punches, or savory meals, Benjamin's vanilla flavorings and colorings add that special touch to everything. And here's something else special. Benjamin's ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, anise, and mixed spice are now available in liquids.
Yes, everything tastes better with Benjamin's.
Benjamin's, a trusted name for over a century.
Realignment is on this weekend. Listen for the changes. Realignment Kingston will now be on Sunday, July 7 at Jamaica College, 5:30 p.m. The Mandeville leg has been postponed until further notice. Your ticket will still be valid. Call 876-371-3219 or email realignmenttour@gmail.com. Realignment 2024. Kevin Downswell, Chevelle Franklin, Positive, John Mark Wigan, Prince Sarge, and others. One show this Sunday, July 7, 5:30 p.m. Jamaica College. Let's worship. Let's give thanks. Let's get realigned.
So I start singing. So I start dancing. It's gonna be like
It's another time to move inside alive with 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This Make Me Move Monday, July 8th. Get ready for the brain-testing exercise at 1:45. Then at 2 o'clock, we bring in the prayer wells of heaven with our prayer blast feature. 2:15 inside Party Talk, we give you some hurricane tips to keep you in check. So stick and stay with us for another informative program you can't afford to miss. Then at 3:15 inside What Does the Bible Say? Join us as we look at another mind-blowing topic to help you defend your faith with our usual presenter, Jackie Saunders. All this and more will come your way this Make Me Move Monday. It's alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., July 8th, on the family station Love 101 with, of course, yours truly, Sarah and the Chirpy One.
Love 101 presents the Morning News, Monday to Friday at 6:30 a.m. Listen as we share local and international stories, followed by a 5-minute presentation from the Caribbean News Desk.
So you want the latest news from your Caribbean neighbors? Well, tune into the Caribbean News Desk on this your favorite radio station. A 5-minute news summary of the big stories across the region. The Caribbean News Desk, weekly mornings on this station and across the Caribbean.
It's current, it's informative, it's Love 101 FM's Morning News and the Caribbean News Desk feature, 6:30 a.m. Monday to Friday on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station Love 101 FM. And I did tell you that I was going to keep you posted on what is happening since it's a live game. Euros 2024. It is now in penalties, England versus Switzerland. Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, they have currently scored. So England, they're currently leading 2-1 in the penalties. Switzerland, they missed their first penalty and scored their second. So we'll keep you posted as the results come in. All right, yes. So back to what? Back to the 4x4 saga. I'm not sure at this point, who. I'm not gonna say anybody's to. Honestly, I think we were just disappointed, and you could feel the air of disappointment in the stadium on Sunday, because I think the patrons and everybody believed that everybody came to the stadium on Sunday with the belief that we could make the time. we could run the time. Like that's the aura that was around, and everybody was, talking, and as it got closer to the time, and the announcers in the stadium, they did a good job at kind of creating that type of atmosphere for it to kind of fall on its face right in front of all of us. I'm just saying that if it is that it were the athletes that they made a decision that they weren't going to run, whether by agent or coaches, I'm saying that I think that was a selfish move, because they know that they would have already qualified for the Olympics. That's okay. And I understand that. But we're also trying to get the relay qualified for the Olympics, which means that there could be other persons that could make the team to Paris. So this was, I feel, as I hear the different reports, it just felt like this was more individualistic than it was about brand Jamaica, team Jamaica, represented my country. It was more, yeah, man, I already have the spot, so y'all, we didn't make it in the 4x4, we can just call it a day. And so when I saw the World Athletics release the 16 teams for each relay, so the 5 relays, they released the 16 teams, and when I saw Jamaica not being on the 4x4 men team, it just hit a nerve. Honestly, it really did. It did on Sunday, and I kind of was like, okay, I am over it, but it hit a nerve differently. It really did hit a nerve differently. But all in all, that was, I think, probably was the low moment. If I could say, that was the low moment of the trials on Sunday. But there were other high moments, and we will talk about that. Yes, because despite that, I think we have a fantastic team, not only heading to Paris in 20 days, but also to Lima, Peru, which is our junior team. But before we talk about that, I can now confirm that England have won the penalty shootout between themselves, and I'm just waiting on. Yeah, okay. Right. I'm not sure. It's saying 5. Okay, I'll tell you in a moment, because it is saying 5-4. I'm just not seeing the last penalty turn into green as yet. I'm not sure why it's done that, but yeah, right. So overall, it was a very good trials. I think there are persons that really outdid themselves. So it was really good to see in terms of. Right. It was really good to see in terms of the different athletes turning out. It was good to see some of the performances. I mean, I'll talk about what my standout performance of the entire trials was. Yes, confirming now that England, they were perfect in their penalty taking. So England will now move on to the semi-finals of Euro 2024. Palmer, Bellingham, Saka, Tony, and Trent Alexander-Arnold all scored for England in the penalty shootout against Switzerland. So England will now progress to Euro 2024 semi-finals. So to all those who were carrying bad blood for England, unfortunately, you have to deal with them for another round in Euro 2024. I know there are many persons who are saying that, England has a good squad. They don't really like the coach. I have no thoughts. I think it's time for the coach to go, but somehow he keeps on finding the results, and then they can't find a reason to get rid of him. So stuck with him. Yeah, right. But overall, back to what I was saying about the trials, this probably in my I can't tell you how long I've been going to trials now, but overall, I think probably would have been for me one of between juniors and seniors overall probably one of the best trials we've had. And I don't know if it is really because we're kind of having what they would say or what persons have touted it to be another changing of the guard. So the last time I felt this way about a trials going into the trials, which was a little nervous, unsure, was back in 2008. Then emerged Shelley and Fraser Price, Usain Bolt, and Melanie Walker at the time. Now it is now 2024, and yes, Shelley and Fraser Price is there, Sherika Jackson there, but then emerged some of the new stars, Tia Clayton and Akira Nugent to some extent, and Laneteva Thomas, and for the juniors, Franklin Skylar, or Skylar Franklin, and Tianelli Terry Long, and this Musha Tai young lady's name eludes me now. Shanoya Douglas. And just overall, just the or crop of athletes, well-rounded, not just on the track but in the field. A person like Frederick Dacres missing out in the discus, but then we do have other stars coming. We do have other stars coming up. Carolyn says Shania Douglas was exceptional. The juniors came out. I agree with you, Carolyn. The juniors did not allow the seniors to, what I would say, outperform them or outshine them. Stars coming through like Kishane Thompson. And let me tell you, it's not Kishane Thompson's 977. I would have spoke about some of it last week, and could have talked about Malik James King, and it goes on. DeAndre Watkin. The list goes on and on and on as it relates to the new stars that have put their hands up for this particular Olympics and say, "Pick me, it is me." And for like selfless acts from like Jaden Hibbert, who it is said that he decided not to jump at the trials for triple jump because he wanted to ensure that O'Brien Wasom and Jordan Scott stayed on the quota list for Paris Olympics, and him possibly jumping would have put them off, or at least one of them would have been out of the top 32. So he literally decided not to take part in a triple jump, and that's why we'd have only seen him for the long jump for the juniors. And the reason why he did a long jump for the juniors was because he wants to compete not only in the triple jump, which is to defend his title in Lima, Peru, but he also wants to take part in the long jump as well. And of course, there's a little talk as it relates to the senior men's long jump, as the situation with Sean D. Thompson and the officials. We'll talk about that when we return from the break. We'll give you the rest of the highlights from the national junior senior track and field trials that took place last weekend. We'll be right back right here on Sports Talk on the family station of 101 FM.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.nlca.gov.jm.
We are on the road to republic.
Listen to words of upliftment in Something More with Bishop Harold Blair, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center.
and he cried out to God. Have you been there? Have you been there when it seems as if you've been left all alone and no one cares for you? No one gives to you a word of comfort or consolation. But as you lift up your eyes to the hills from whence cometh your help, the Lord heard your cry.
That's Something More with Bishop Harold Blair. Something More comes to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. here on the Family Station, Love 101.
It's not over till it's over. It ain't over yet. Oh, it's not over till.
All right, we're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Family Station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. G-Y-M? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving of their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the Family Station. Love 101.
Youth Connection. True body and then we got him provide everything on guide people we chat. True body and then we got him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey. True body.
Realignment is on this weekend. Listen for the changes. Realignment Kingston will now be on Sunday, July 7 at Jamaica College, 5:30 p.m. The Mandeville leg has been postponed until further notice. Your ticket will still be valid. Call 876-371-3219 or email realignmenttour@gmail.com. Realignment 2024, Kevin Downswell, Chadell Franklin, Positive, John Mark Wigan, Prince Sarge, and others. One show this Sunday, July 7, 5:30 p.m. Jamaica College. Let's worship, let's give thanks, let's get realigned.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station, Love 101 FM. The name is Kathya and we are continuing with the J3A's the National Senior Junior Trials that took place last week. And I was talking about some of my highlights, but I was also talking about another situation that happened last week, Saturday concluded on Sunday, but there was a situation in the men's long jump. And I just wanna pull it up so that I can just tell you exactly what happened. I mean, even though I was there. So the men's long jump took place Saturday afternoon, and on his last attempt, Sean D. Thompson, he fouled a jump. Now, if you know in terms of the men's long jump, we would have last year in Budapest, we would have placed second, third, and fourth. Wayne Pinnock finishing second, Tajay Gay finishing third, and Karen McLeod finishing fourth. Since year, Karen McLeod would have finished with a bronze medal in the World Indoor. Now, Karen McLeod, Wayne Pinnock, they've already made the qualifying mark for the Olympics, and I do believe Tajay is a part of the quota for the long jump, right? All right, so Sean D. Thompson, locally trained, he represents GC Foster. On his last attempt, which was signal a foul, he then, because if a foul is close an athlete can he can say, please measure it and ask for it to be reviewed. Now, it was measured, and the mark would have been 8.30 meters. Now, in this situation, I strongly believe that the officials were the one who made the error, because they counted the jump as a foul. Now, when Shawnee Thompson asked for the jump to be remeasured, I don't think that the distance that was measured should have been shown. So the 8.3 meters should not have been shown on the display. I believe they should have just written it down just for the records keeping, so that when the video review team and I forgot the name now, but when that committee reviews it, they would have now the video evidence, and they would have already known what the mark would have been. And if they would have said, okay, there's enough evidence to overthrow and, count the 8.30 meters. But it became a bigger deal, or it became a big deal. Why? Because 8.30 meters was the automatic qualifying standard for the long jump for Paris. Means that if the 8.30 meters was legal, it means that Shawnee Thompson would have automatically qualified to represent Jamaica in Paris. So on Sunday, it was said that, it was a foul jump, and there were mixed reviews, because persons were saying, they feel like, Shawnee Thompson was hard done on the situation, and I don't think so, because initially the jump was ruled a foul. Shawnee Thompson then protested, or then asked for it to be reviewed in his right as the athlete. Now, the 8.30 meters, as I said, should not have been shown to say that this was a jump. They were supposed to just write it down so they can know. And when it went to the body that reviews the jump, that they would have now seen and said, okay, all right, there is enough evidence, or there's not enough evidence. So because there was not enough evidence, and based on the video review and all of that, it showed that it was a foul. They're like, okay, it's a foul. So it's really much ado about nothing, because it was really a foul in the first place. But in any case, Kerry McLeod, he won the long jump with 8.338 meters, and these are the official results. Wayne Pinnock, he was second in 8.25 meters, and Teje Gale third in 8.18 meters. Now, as I said, Kerry McLeod, Wayne Pinnock already made the Olympic qualifying standard. Teje Gale, I think he's waiting to see if he's made the quota for the top 32. I do believe 32 is where most of the events have a cutoff. Either it's 48, 32, or 24. All right. So the women's 400 meters, and I'm going from Sunday now back to Thursday. So the women's 400 meters was won by Nikisha Price. In second place was, am I not seeing? Oh, okay, my bad. Starting back on Sunday. I'm so sorry about that. All right, let's start with the men's 200. Let's start with the men's 200 meters. That was won by Brian Neville in a time of 19.97 seconds. Olympic qualifying standard. And Andrew Hudson also made the Olympic qualifying standard in 20.02. So they would be our representatives in the men's 200 meters. In the women's 200 meters, that was won by Sharika Jackson, 22.29. Leneteva Thomas, she was second in 22.34 seconds. Nisha Berger, she was third in 22.39 seconds. And those persons will be or representatives, or should be representatives, because the J3 is, they do have to release the official list. Moving on, the men's 110 meter hurdles, which again must have been, well, I don't know. It must have been maybe the most anticipated results because of what happened. Now, Rashid Broadbell, he won in 13.18 seconds. Orlando Bennett, he was second in 13.18 seconds. So just in case you want to know the time, so they would have now gone to the 1,000th time for them to separate Broadbell and Bennett. And Hunter Parchment, defending Olympic champion, was third in 13.19 seconds. And so those three men will represent us in Paris, or should represent us. Let's see. I keep on saying should because, yeah, the J3 is, even you are to come first, second, or third and meet the Olympic qualifying standard, but they can make exceptions. I don't think they will, but they still have the right. The selection committee still kind of have the right to release the official thing. All right, so in the women's 100 meter hurdles, which was again another big race, because we saw a national record coming in that event that was won by Akira Nugent in a new national record of 12.28 seconds. Second was Danielle Williams, gold medalist from last year's World Championship, in 12.53 seconds. And Janique Brown, yes, Janique Brown returned to track and field and now has made the Olympic team to Paris. So she finished third in 12.61 seconds. Olympic bronze medalist, or defending Olympic bronze medalist, Megan Tapper, missed out, and she had a nasty fall after the race, but she is now okay. And that 12.28 stands out because I just didn't expect her to go so fast. That's Akira Nugent, and she's been through it, so I was just so happy to see her winning a national title, but not also winning, but in the time that she did, makes her the second fastest woman behind Masai of the USA, who probably about 40 minutes after the 12.28 seconds, she ran 12.25 seconds to win the US trials. So yeah, in interesting time for the hurdles. Hurdles can be unpredictable. So when you see fast times in the hurdles, we're just so grateful. For the women, 400 meters, Nikisha Price, Stacey Ann Williams, and Janelle Bramfield. And of course, many persons are, like myself, very happy that Janelle will be representing us in in Paris. In the men's triple jump, was won by Jordan Scott, 16.87 meters. Or Brian Wasom was second in 16.19. And as I said, we wait to see if they make the standard in terms of the quota list for the Olympics. And of course, as soon as J3s has shared their official team for track and field for Jamaica, we will, of course, share it with you and tell you our thoughts. That has been Sports Talk. We do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Continue to tune into the number one gospel station. Have a great rest of your weekend and be safe.